Welcome, brother. I want to ask you a question, and I want you to ask yourself the same question every day from now on. What if you knew today was your last day alive? No warning, no time to prepare, just one last sunrise, one last sunset. Would you be proud of the man you were? Would you be able to look death in the eyes, unafraid, knowing that you lived each moment with purpose, with courage and honor? Or would you feel shame and regret? The crushing weight of a coward's life lived in silence, in fear, in compromise. This isn't just a dramatic question, this is reality. Every single day could be your last. So the real question is not how long you live, but how you live. And if you die tomorrow, will you die with honor, or will you die a coward? Men today are not being asked to live with honor. They're being asked to survive, to keep quiet, to go along with the crowd, to chase comfort, to hide their pain and call it strength. But surviving isn't the same as living. Comfort isn't the same as peace, and silence is not the same as honor. Our world is filled with men who look alive, but are dead inside, numb, empty, afraid. They don't speak their truth. They don't stand for what they believe in. They bury their dreams, their anger, their purpose. They die slowly, day by day, while pretending everything's fine. That is the death of a coward, and that is a fate far worse than dying with your head high and your soul clean. The problem is simple, yet tragic. Most men have forgotten what it means to live with honor. We've traded our swords for screens, our fire for comfort, our courage for convenience. Society tells men that being safe and liked is more important than being real and respected. They say, don't rock the boat, don't speak too loud, don't aim too high, just blend in, stay quiet, follow the script. But inside every man is a fire that can't be killed. A voice that says, I was made for more. Every man, no matter how broken or weak, was born with the seed of greatness. And that seed is watered by honor. The problem is, too many men ignore that voice. They drown it out with distractions, addictions, shallow pleasures, and empty approval. But no matter how much they try to run from it, that voice always comes back. Usually when they're alone. Usually when the world is quiet. And it asks the same question. Are you proud of who you are? Honor isn't something you buy. It's not something you're born into. It's not given to you. It's earned. Every day. Every moment. It's earned when you choose to get up and fight, even when you're tired. When you speak the truth, even when it's dangerous. When you do the right thing, even when no one's watching. That's honor. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about refusing to live a lie. A man of honor doesn't need applause. He doesn't need likes or followers. He doesn't need a trophy or a title. His reward is internal. It's quiet but powerful. It's the peace that comes from knowing that no matter what the world says, you stood tall. You stayed true. You lived like a man. It's not about how good you are at your job, how talented you are, how tall or handsome you are. It's about knowing that you live each moment with honor, to always do the right thing, even if it means doing it alone and afraid. The last emperor of Constantinople, Constantine XI, had two choices before he died at the hands of the Ottomans: flee and save himself, or stay with his people and die with them. He chose to stay even though he knew he was going to die. That's a man who lived with honor and would never die a coward. There will be pain, there will be failure, you will fall, you will doubt yourself, you will feel weak, but you must keep going. Because weakness is not the enemy, cowardice is. Every man feels weak, but the honorable man keeps going anyway. That's what separates warriors from quitters. That's what separates the dead from the truly alive. Pain is not a punishment, it's a teacher. And suffering is not a curse, it's a test. When you're bleeding inside, when you're gasping for air, when every voice tells you to quit and you keep going, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you become real. That's when you become a man of honor. Living with honor means facing death every day and still standing tall. It means doing hard things when no one forces you to. It means protecting your family, your values, your dreams, even if it costs you everything. Honor is not about being macho or tough. It's about being responsible. It's about living in such a way that if today is your last day on earth, your son, your wife, your people can say, "He didn't run, he didn't lie, he didn't quit, he lived with honor." If you're a parent and God forbid you're faced with a life or death situation, like getting robbed by a junkie with a gun, then I'm not saying stay there and make your kids orphans without knowing if they're secured for life. That's not honorable. That's stupid. If you had to fight off the attacker, if your kids were getting attacked and help them flee, then of course you would have to sacrifice yourself for them. What kind of man wouldn't? A man who lives with honor doesn't fear death, because he's already conquered something worse: regret. He's not perfect, but he's honest. He's not invincible, but he's unbreakable. Not because life didn't try to break him, but because it did, and he still stood up. Even when the weight of the world sat on his shoulders, even when no one believed in him, even when everything felt lost, he kept going. He kept his promise. He stayed loyal to the mission. He stayed loyal to himself. That's honor. There's a reason we admire warriors, soldiers, ancient heroes. It's not just because they were strong, but because they had a code. They lived and died by that code. And today, men need that code again. We need something to live for, something to protect, something to die for if we must. We need to stop being passive, stop hiding, stop pretending. Every man must ask himself, what do I believe in? What will I never betray? What kind of legacy am I leaving behind? Because at the end of your life, when your body is weak and your time is running out, none of your possessions will matter. The only thing that will matter is whether or not you lived with honor. If you're struggling right now, if you feel lost or ashamed or broken, it's not over. You still have time. You can still rise. Honor is not a trophy for the flawless. It's a path for the brave. You earn it every time you get back up. Every time you choose discipline over desire. Every time you take the hard road instead of the easy escape. Every time you silence your ego and speak the truth. That's what builds your soul. That's what carves your name into eternity. Before we continue, brother, if this message is resonating with you, then you're one of us, and every warrior needs a reminder. I've designed some Men with Discipline t-shirts and other goodies for my brothers in arms who choose to live with the code of honor and discipline. This isn't just clothing, it's a man's armor, a badge of discipline, a signal to the world and to yourself that you're done living in the shadows. You're here to lead, to fight, to rise. A man's priority is to live every day with honor. Forget the rest. Remind yourself each day when you drink your coffee or when you walk in and out of your home that you are choosing to live with honor. Wear it with pride. Live it with purpose. Visit my store and remind yourself, every day is a test. I'll leave the link in the description below for anyone who is interested in purchasing a Live with Honor or Die a Coward t-shirt. Thank you to everyone who will answer my call to action and go check it out. And thank you everyone who's watching and supporting, even if you don't go and check it out. I appreciate all of you. Let's move on with today's video. So how do you live each day with honor? Start now. You live as if every day is your last, not in fear, but in purpose. Wake up and ask yourself, what would a man of honor do today? Then go do it. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you feel strong. Do it now. Be the man you were meant to be. Speak the truth. Face your fears. Apologize if you must. Forgive if you can. Fight for what matters. Protect what's right. Be the example your younger self needed. Be the father your future son can look up to. Be the man your soul is begging you to become. Don't make excuses to avoid doing the hard things that must be done. Don't simp over women and buy them luxurious things if they're a bunch of whores. If you have a good woman who is by your side, who loves and supports you, who trusts your leadership and brings you peace, then go ahead and spend as much as you want on her. That's not simping, just don't go broke. Living with honor is the only path that leads to true peace. Because it's not about how much money you make, how many women you can get, or how strong your body is. It's about whether or not you respected your mission, whether or not you looked life in the eye and said, "You will not break me. I will die on my feet before I ever live on my knees." That is honor. That is power. That is purpose. And when your final day does come, because it will, you will not tremble. You will not run. You will not beg for more time. You will look back with pride. You will feel peace, because you'll know you lived like a man. You loved with fire. You gave your best. You didn't quit. You didn't compromise. You didn't live for cheap thrills and shallow approval. You lived with honor, and even in death, you win. So now the choice is yours. No one can walk this road for you. No one can give you honor. You have to earn it. One step at a time. One choice at a time. The world is watching. Your soul is watching. And when it's all over, there will only be two kinds of men. Those who lived with honor and those who died cowards. Which one will you be? If you made it until here, leave a crown emoji in the comments. I want to see how many of you reached the end and finished what you started. Remember, live with honor or die a coward. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay strong.